Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Welcome back to Bucket Code. I already recorded this video. Unfortunately, it didn't save to my desktop, so I have to reshoot it. But anyways, let's just jump into it. The if-else statement. What the if-else statement is we have if a condition is true, we want to execute the line execute code. So whatever we say is true inside of the if statement, that's going to execute as long as it's true, one time. And then we'll have an else statement that if this is not true, then execute this instead, okay? And let's say a great example is we'll have integer x equals 1, integer y equals 10, okay? And I want to change it to 7. So now, if x is greater than y, we're going to print out x is bigger, okay? And if x is not bigger than y, we'll print out the opposite. We'll print out the opposite and say, no, y is. So now what we are checking is that is the variable stored or the value stored inside of the variable x bigger than y? If that is true, we're going to print this out. If it's not, we're going to say y is bigger. If I were to execute this, okay, as you can see, 1 is not bigger than 7. And in that case, this part did not execute and it automatically printed out, no, y is bigger. Let's switch those around. Let's make 1 11 now. And now let's print it out and say x is bigger than y. So as you can see, whatever the condition is in here, as long as this is true, if statement will execute. And as soon as this execute, everything after the if statement, curly bracket, is ignored. And we have another topic which combines the both statements, which is an else if statement. So let's just go right here and we'll just add that right there. And we'll say else if x is bigger than y or z, system.out.println x is bigger than z. Okay? Else we'll just say system.out x is the smallest. Okay? Let's introduce a variable z here, and we'll just call it 9. And it's going to check for x greater than y. If that's true, this will print out. If it's not true, it'll go to the next one and check is x greater than z. And then that'll print out. Now, instead of this, let me show you a very classic example that a lot of computer science students use. What I've done is I've taken the example from the last video, the scanner object, and I've implemented that into this video. So just to go over it with you real quick, we have an object scanner. We're scanning for the user's input. We're telling the user to enter the grade. And then we are storing whatever the user inputs into this variable called grade as a double. And now what we're checking is that if the grade is greater than or equal to 90, we print out you have an A. Else, if it's greater than or equal to 80, we print out B, C, D, etc., depending on what they made on the grade. If all of this fails, if they have not made higher than 60% on anything, automatically anything below 60 is going to print out you have failed. So if I were to compile this up, Java C, if else.java, and now Java if else, enter a grade. Let's say we made a 95.23. It comes in here, takes the grade, checks it. Is it greater than or equal to 90? Because it's greater than or equal to 90, it prints this out, you have an A, and it ignores everything else after that. If it doesn't, and if I say to run this again, and I enter my grade to be a 23.2, it's going to check each and every else if statement all the way down to the else. It checks, is it greater than 90? False. Is it greater than 80? Equal to 80? False. Is it greater than or equal to 70? False. 60? False. Comes down here and says you have failed the course. You have failed with an emoji. It's just going to emote on us. So now that that's done, I can also show you extreme cases, which is if it is completely above 90, because we're going to have to add these checks. This is what the if statement is for. We can add checks to make sure that it doesn't go over or below anything we don't want it to. I can make a crazy grade like this, and I'll have an A, because obviously this crazy grade I've made is above an A. And if I have the opposite end, which is a negative number, it's going to tell me that I automatically failed because I don't think any bonus is going to curve that. And that is the basis of what an if-else statement is. And if you have any questions, like I said, leave a comment down below. Tell me if you need any help, any questions for anything. I'll leave the source code down in the description. As always, thank you for watching. Assalamu alaikum.